What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. It was the 200th episode of Dynamite, and what will AEW do to celebrate this momentous occasion? Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Dynamite, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including: is Warner Brothers Discovery interested in WWE? Vince McMahon makes a statement proving his innocence. Rob Van Dam is all elite. WWE women are frustrated backstage. Is Kayla Braxton leaving WWE, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. As always, won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, Hikaru Shida wins the women's belt. Shida's AEW Women's World Championship win over Toni Storm was a great way to end Dynamite, giving fans a feel-good moment and a surprise after things looked bleak for the challenger. Even better, it's an opportunity for AEW to straighten the direction the Women's World title has been since Toni Storm won the belt at this year's Double or Nothing. Shida is a phenomenal grappler, and her first run as AEW Women's Champion was overshadowed by the pandemic. Regardless of what the reasons were for the failure of Storm's second title run, booking, effort, or a combination of both, this is the fresh start the title needs. Number 2, the MJF Cole saga goes next level. Who is playing who? MJF generously offered Adam Cole an AEW World Championship match, and not only that, he told Cole he was going to give him the match at AEW's biggest event, All In. While MJF has never seemed so sincere in claiming to turn over a new leaf, most fans know better. Nevertheless, the question of who will stab the other wrestler in the back first has been the wrestling equivalent of a world-class roller coaster ride. Now, those who were paying attention to last night's Dynamite saw Adam Cole do the backstab motion, the same motion he made to Roderick Strong in NXT. So will he be the first to make the move to betray MJF? Number 3, a good old-fashioned brawl. The Anything Goes triple threat match between Trent Beretta, Jon Moxley and Pentel El Zero gave fans a chance to enjoy something different, but it was a post-match brawl between best friends in the Blackpool Combat Club that dialed up the action. We're still undecided on whether this program will work due to best friends traditionally being booked on a lower level than the BCC. However, it appears AEW is booking these two factions in order to show fans just how tough the best friends are and that they're more than a comedy group. Number 4, Chris Jericho's Don Callis Alliance storyline. Last night's tag match between Jericho and Takeshita vs Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia was more than an entertaining match. It took the story of whether Jericho will side with Don Callis or stay with his faction to the next level. While Chris Jericho seemed reluctant to cover Garcia after Callis clobbered him with Jericho's bat, Jericho took the tainted win, and next week's mandatory meeting of the JS should make for an explosive segment. Number 5, it's RVD. RVD's surprise appearance was a perfect touch for Dynamite's special edition, and seeing both Jerry Lynn and Van Dam was a nice tribute to ECW. Next week's Jack Perry vs RVD match for Perry's FTW Championship should be entertaining as RVD battles to bring it back to a more deserving champion. Number 6, Vikingo and Commander match was good. Vikingo and Commander's match against Ring of Honor champions Aussie Open was a spot fest AEW fans love to watch, even as they hold their breath hoping nobody gets injured. Some critics might question why the Ring of Honor tag titles were on Dynamite's 200th episode, but it was a good effort to interest AEW fans in Ring of Honor. And the Embassy lay out Nick Wayne as his training facility. The Embassy Swerve Strickland and AR Fox paid a visit to Buddy Wayne Academy, laying out Nick Wayne and some of his students. The segment had an old school vibe as it both took the fans out of the arena and gave AR Fox a reason for Darby Allin to want to wrestle him. Now, to be honest, there was no bad and no downright ugly. Although there were no high stakes matches other than the Women's Championship, every match and segment delivered, making the 200th episode celebration seem actually extra special. What did you guys think of Dynamite last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now first we looked at Warner Brothers Discovery interested in SmackDown. Atop of today's news is a rumor that refuses to go away: Warner Brothers Discovery's interest in acquiring SmackDown. Naturally, this is a major story not because WBD could be one of the many suitors for the Blue brand, but because it currently has the rights to AEW. Dave Meltzer is reporting that WBD may be interested in SmackDown, but he noted that the corporation is tight on cash and is believed to be in the process of signing a new deal with AEW, whilst also working on keeping the rights to the NBA. Meltzer mused, "There's talk of WBD being interested in WWE with the idea that it would have the entire wrestling market and could cross-promote it, but I don't see that happening at all. They may have interest, but I can't see WWE going on the same station as AEW. I think that would, and certainly if they did, there'd be no agreement to cross-promote. It would take a ridiculous offer and WBD's already strapped for cash, so I don't see that one happening. What do you guys think? Could it happen though? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Vince McMahon makes a statement proving his innocence. Now it's time for a follow-up to yesterday's report that Vince McMahon was served with a subpoena to appear in front of a federal grand jury, apparently as part of a federal probe into the activities surrounding McMahon's 2022 hush money scandal. McMahon issued the following statement. In 2022, WWE formed a special committee to review allegations of misconduct against me. Their review was concluded in November 2022 following an extensive investigation. Throughout this experience, I've always denied any intentional wrongdoing, and I continue to do so. I'm confident that the government's investigation will be resolved without any findings of wrongdoing. I am focused on completing the recovery process from my recent spinal surgery and on closing our transaction with Endeavor, which will create one of the premium global sports and entertainment brands. What do you guys think? Is McMahon innocent? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, AEW announces the first match for All In. AEW has finally revealed the first match for its upcoming Wembley Stadium show All In. MJF told BFF Adam Cole that he's doing more than giving him an AEW World Championship match, he's making sure it happens at All In. While this may not be a dream match, it's certainly a good start, and hopefully AEW will start filling out the card, as we only got a few more weeks. Next up, Rob Van Dam is All Elite. Rob Van Dam is All Elite. AEW shocked the fans with a surprise appearance reminiscent of Dynamite's early run when fans never knew who might show up. Here's what we know about Van Dam's signing so far. PW Insider is reporting that the whole effing show is signed for one match, next week's bout against Jack Perry. Furthermore, the WWE had him listed as appearing at Wrestlemania 40, a situation which could change unless RVD is contractually obliged to appear at next year's show of shows. While his appearance doesn't appear to be driven by spite, he recently discussed how he felt insulted by WWE's Hardcore Championship. I was insulted by it until I got the Hardcore title. I felt like they were making fun of us in ECW because we have this, in my opinion, a superior art form, making wrestling cool to people that aren't even wrestling fans. Then I would see the Hardcore title match on Monday Night Raw or whatever, and in my opinion, I thought that they were making a joke out of it. Rest in peace, Crash Holly. But it pretty much meant the hot dog stand was going to get tipped over. The Hardcore match was something to laugh at. RVD shared these comments on his one-of-a-kind podcast, so what do you guys think of his debut on AEW? What do you think of his thoughts on the Hardcore Championship? Next up, a women's title match added to SummerSlam. Could the WWE Universe see a women's championship defense by Rhea Ripley against Raquel Rodriguez? Although the match hasn't been booked, Meltzer noted on the Wrestling Observer Radio that it could happen. They could clear her and add it onto the day of the show, but I will say that there is a time constraint. I was told that that was part of a reason why some of these matches that were originally part of the show were off, because they have a time limit on the show, which I'm gonna guess is 3.5 to 4 hours. The SummerSlam currently has 8 matches booked, including the SummerSlam Battle Royal, and our next story may explain why the WWE doesn't have much time for other matches. As WWE women frustrated backstage. Now, is there trouble brewing backstage in the WWE's women's division? WRKD Wrestling recently tweeted there are growing frustrations backstage in WWE regarding the handling of the women's division. The details are sketchy, and the alleged frustration could include one or more reasons, including Trish vs. Becky being bounced from SummerSlam, Ripley's potential absence from SummerSlam, the lousy booking of the women's undercard, equally lousy booking of the women's tag championship, or any combination of reasons. Next up, is Slim Jim sponsoring restricting WWE booking? The SummerSlam Battle Royal sponsored by Slim Jim is the reason why WWE has less time to book matches at Saturday's PLE. Ringside News reported WWE saw a big addition to the show when the Slim Jim Battle Royal was announced. This came around the time when a couple of matches were nixed from the card. We were told that the company is making a lot of money on the Slim Jim sponsorship. They added that WWE had to make sure that it got enough time on the card to make it worth their sponsors' money. No word on how long the Battle Royal is expected to go, but the WWE's rumored decision to move Trish vs. Becky from SummerSlam to Raw has fans asking whether the WWE is more concerned with sponsorship money than marquee matches. And finally, is Kayla Braxton leaving WWE? And last but not least, the recent news that Kayla Braxton is leaving the bump led to concern by fans that she was leaving WWE. But there's nothing to worry about, as she tweeted, "Don't worry, I'm not leaving WWE." But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, as well as our review of Dynamite. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.